Welcome to another episode of Intimate Conversations with Lisa Favor, where we go to talk about life and everything that affects us in life. And this month we are in the month where in South Africa we celebrate Women's Month. We all know that in 1956, 20,000 women, they went to march against the past laws. And so much that when the new government came into existence, they felt that that whole month of August should be commemorated where we celebrate women. And why do we actually even celebrate Women's Month? Google will tell you that it is a reminder. It is a month where we remind ourselves to celebrate women's milestones and their extraordinary roles in all spheres of society. It is also a month to call for gender equality. So the whole month we celebrate that. And if we are to celebrate women from all the spheres of society, and if we are also saying women did something great, I thought, is it not important then for us to talk about the role that women currently are playing in the boardroom, where women are now empowered, they have risen, they have taken up their positions, and you find them in the boardrooms. But being in the boardrooms, it doesn't mean the struggle is over. There's challenges that they face. So today I've got a very close friend of mine, but we are here talking about her as an executive because she has risen through the ranks and she is an executive, Helen Shube. Welcome, Ms. Shube. Ms. Shube, welcome.
Thank you, my friend. I'm not going to be someone I'm not. I'm not used to call you Miss Piri. So I think and I hope the viewers will pardon me. I'm going to call you girlfriend.
You are
and
girlfriend.
That's your name that I call you with, and I'm comfortable calling you with that name. However, welcome for having me in the studio today, and I'm greeting you. I'm also greeting all of the listeners who will be listening or who are listening to this show.
Thank you. Welcome, girlfriend. So we are talking Women's Month, and we are talking the struggles that women, as we know that it is a month, as I said in the introduction, where women were tired and they took a stand and they went out there. And today we find women who are now in the boardroom. You are one of those. But maybe even before we get to the level of where you are right now as an executive, take us through your journey to the point where you are. I'll stop you from time to time as we go, but because maybe somebody else who sees you today in the role that you are playing, and you're going to tell us what role you are, as a DDG Corporate Services in the Information Regulator, so just take people through, because you did not wake up and find yourself as a DDG. You started somewhere, and take us through that journey.
Thank you, my friend. You are interviewing me in the month where we are celebrating women, in particular, what they have achieved since the women of 1956 marched in Pretoria against past laws. We celebrate these women because for us, they have set a pathway that says it is possible for women to be united in a common purpose and achieve that which they seek to achieve. So now, how do I fit in this? Is that for me, I see it as a platform that has been created for all women in the country to say, rise up, woman. See yourself as you are. Believe in yourself and know that you can do it. Whatever it is that you set your eyes and your heart on, you can achieve it. My journey started long ago, and perhaps let me start where I became an adult and unplanned mother.
Okay.
And at that time, I was doing matric, and I realized that, oops, now I'm about to be a mother and I'm still doing matric. And to me, everything was like dark. I couldn't see any light ahead. And my life was doomed. And because now there's a baby, I thought now I'll be working as a domestic worker, having to take care of this baby that is born. And I need to get something, hustle around so that I make something out of my life. And I was a second born, or I am a second born at home. And I was the first one to get pregnant with my son. So I went back to school after giving birth to him. And the determination that was there was so unimaginable. I don't know what failure brings to a person. Because at that time, to me, I saw that as failure, but it gave me an attitude that says, even if I have disappointed my parents, I've disappointed my family, I want to show them that I can still do it. So when I go back to school, I'm going to make sure that whatever subjects that I will be doing, I pass them with flying colors. So I passed my matric very well. At that time, I was already having a husband. Fortunately, he encouraged me to say, no, yes, you have a child, but you can still do it.
Okay, maybe just to pause there, because you are saying at the point when you discovered that you were pregnant, there was darkness. It kind of felt like gloom. You could not see. Where did the change come? When did the shift from seeing darkness to the drive now that says, I've got to do this? What happened for that shift to happen?
I went back to school. The first few months of going back to school, I was so ashamed of myself. I felt like I must hide, but attend classes virtually. I'm there, but I'm not there. Because I felt like now I'm old, now I'm a mother, I'm attending classes with these kids. And I wasn't old, actually, because at that time I was 18, but because I was already having a baby,
mother,
I felt like I'm out and I don't belong to this group anymore. But as we started and as time went on, as I'm saying, I had a partner I have a partner who was encouraging me always to say, you can still make it. You can still do it. This is not the end. So I went back to school. I went back to school. Yes, I got that support from my parents. But you support your parents the way they support you. They will be telling you that, now you have a baby and your man is a teacher, so he'll be with teachers, mistress. We used to call them mistress, your educators, female educators. It'll be with those ones, and you'll be left there with your baby. So that thing was a source of inspiration to me to say, you know what, I must up my game as well. Let me go back to school. And my husband also encouraged me. When I was at school, he was supportive. His family was also supportive in taking care of the child. And I realized at that time that, you know what, I can make it. I can do it because, I was getting good grades at school. So fortunately, I passed my matric with exemption. I went to university. It was a 3 years degree, the degree that I was doing. And upon completion, I started now looking for a job. Yeah, and when I completed my degree, I already had my second baby. So the pressure was so much.
You were busy.
I was already married. Remember when I went to the university, my husband and I decided that, no, let's just officialize this thing. And then, so, when you're already married, anything is possible. Yeah. So when I was doing my third year, I got my second born. And then fortunately, I was doing my final year. And also that, falling pregnant when I was doing my third year. I worked extra hard that year because I had to spend about 2 months at home and not at school. And things are happening at school. They are writing tests, and I'm sitting at home taking care of a baby or of a pregnancy.
Mm,
But when I went back, I didn't care that I don't have a semester marks for the third trimester, for the third semester. I worked hard for my exams.
Okay.
And I passed my third year, and that was my final year. And then the following year, I came back home and I was looking for work. I enrolled in a computer college in Nelspruit, where I was doing anything that has to do with computers. And really, that experience was also helpful because it prepared me for the world of work.
Well, you taught me before you continue, you taught me how to use a computer in our early days today. So it worked. Those.
Do you use all your fingers when you type?
Not.
So that experience, I cherish it, and I will forever cherish it. And that was my husband's contribution, because as I'm saying, really, in my career life, he played a very significant role. After that, I got a job. There's a company in Nelspruit called Netplay. It's a company of engineers.
Okay.
So I was hired there as a typist because I was good in typing. Hey, my friend, I started working there, and these people are speaking Afrikaans and they expect me to type things in Afrikaans. I worked for 1 month and they said, no, thank you. They gave me a thank you letter and they gave me my salary. Gave me a salary for that month and for the next month. So it was a 2-month salary. They gave me a 2-month salary.
All right.
I know you don't know this part. So now well, at that time, I was really applying for jobs. And the following month, I was invited to a number of interviews. I got appointed for another project called the Youth Development Project. There was an agency at that time, not the what do they call it? The Youth Development Agency.
Yes.
Yeah. It was I think they were starting something like that. So there was a project to empower youth. So I was appointed as an administrator for that project. And then I enjoyed working there. But I wasn't happy because it was just a contract. And I was invited for interviews in a number of companies. One, it was the SANParks in Kruger National Park. The other one, it was the Public Service Commission. I was appointed in both the two organizations at the same time. Then I had to choose which one I'm going to take. Yes.
Spoiled for choice. You were spoiled for choice.
Yes, I had to choose. Then I chose the Public Service Commission. So there I started at a very low level, salary level 7 as a training officer. And that's where me and you discovered that actually we are sisters, you know.
Of
we just need
course.
to. Yes.
Of course.
So that was the beginning of my journey.
Yes.
And in the public service. What I appreciate about that point in my life was that I was not expected to be perfect.
Yes.
I was taken as a student from the university, as a fresh person, and I was trained to do the work. And that is what I will always cherish the public service about, that an opportunity was given. At that time, we were all young. I think we were about 7 or 8, if I'm not mistaken.
There was 8 of us.
Yes. 8 of us. And we were taken into a very robust program where we were trained on how to do the work of trainers. And the confidence that we got after that training, we were high flyers. I'm telling you, there was no training that you will call us and we will say, no, we can't do that training. We will go to the library, read books, prepare for the training, assist one another, and go there and do it.
Develop case studies, hey? You remember we developed case studies so that our training will be very interesting.
My friend, case studies, and we were not really teachers, but that 6 months we were trained to be teachers. Teachers will go to a college for 3 months, be trained about the methodology or the method of, for 3 years, the method of teaching. We were trained how adults learn, and it was so interesting.
Yes.
And well, things happened in government because then there's always changes. The Public Service Commission was then now restructured, and certain functions which were seen as administrative functions, like a personnel function, because they were doing personnel functions. All human resources functions were done by the Public Service Commission at the time, were then decentralized to government departments. So I then went to the office of the Premier. That's where I was working as a training officer, and through promotions, I became a senior training officer. And in 2001, I left the office of the Premier after having been employed by the legislature as an assistant director, training and development.
I actually forgot that part. I actually forgot that part of your life, that you've been to the legislature. I forgot that.
You forgot that?
I forgot the legislature part, but yeah.
Yeah. And I give credit to my supervisor at that time, because as in most cases, we see ourselves as victims when things are not going our way.
Yes.
And we tend to label other people that, they hate me, it's this and that and that. And we forget that there's a God who works in his own mysterious ways. And if he was able to harden Pharaoh's heart, if he was able to relax Pharaoh's heart, how about the hearts of an ordinary woman in an administration? God can influence people to make us see that the nest is no longer comfortable.
Yes.
He can make people, make us realize that, you know what, it is time to fly, because those people will begin to pluck out the feathers and the cotton and all the plants that are there that are making this nest to be comfortable. And then the thorns begin to prick you. And when these thorns begin to prick you, you realize that, wow, now I'm bleeding. It is time for me to move. But we blame the nest. In most cases, we blame the nest. Why? Why are you removing the potty? Why? Because we want the comfort of the nest. You know? So it happened with me. And it was an aha moment for me when I realized that, you know what, I need to give credit to these people, because I'm where I am today because of the contribution they had in my life. I went to the legislature. I worked there for 3 years as an assistant director, training and development. But then I was introduced to all the functions of human resources management because we are understaffed. So if you are in the human resources management division, you are expected to do and understand everything that is happening in HR. Okay. So my scope was broadened there. And I realized that, you know what, now I can do anything. I understand the HR. And I had a challenge of supervisors. I hated to report to a person. At that time, I remember how much I hated to report to a person because of the experience that I had at that time of unplugging the nest and removing the curtains and everything. So I hated it. So I wanted people to report to me.
Okay.
I was like, you know what? I want people to report to me. I'm tired of this, and I'm going to work hard and develop myself and see what is in store for me. And at that time, I started studying as well, enrolling. I did a diploma in human resources development. And when I left the legislature, I enrolled for an honors degree with the University of Johannesburg. I completed it, and I got employed by the Department of Education now as a manager corporate services. Yes. So I'm trying to just give you my journey in the corporate world.
Yes.
When I was appointed by the Department of Education, and that was a managerial role because it's a deputy director now. That's where I learned a lot about management and the challenges that comes with it. As much as I wanted to be leading people, I'm tired to be led, I'm tired to report to someone, I realized that, oh my God, this is not as easy as I thought.
It looks.
Yes, it is cold up there. And mind you, it wasn't that senior position, but in the Department of Education, especially if we are working in the regional office, a position of a deputy director of corporate services is seen as a very big position because we are managing the entire administration of the region. And at that time, corporate services included the whole administration. Program one was corporate services. Finance was under me, supply chain was under me, human resources management was under me. That was also another eye-opener for me. I gained a lot of experience there. And at the regional office, we are where the tire hits the road. That's where things are happening. You get exposed exactly on what service delivery means. Because we are very close to the community. We are very close to the
department. Yes.
We are very close to communities. We are very close to all your stakeholders. We are so close to them. And at any time, they complain, they raise their issues at any time, you know. So you need to make sure that always your game is up. So I worked there and I started to realize that, you know what, this thing of management is not easy. I started having encounters with unions, you know, and I had some knowledge about unions because my husband was a unionist at that time. And he will also advise me on how to deal with unions and my experience as a trainer, because we're also doing a lot of training in labor relations. I understood a lot on how to handle them and how to deal with issues there. But if you are not strong, if you have a victim mentality, unions can destroy you because you can, well, it's a choice. You can make a choice to see yourself as a victim because you are a woman. And I realized late in my career that, you know what, all careers, they come with a number of frustrations, excitement, and sometimes they can destroy you, sometimes they can make you, but it's your choice.
It's your choice.
Because for you, it's your choice whether it destroys you, it frustrates you, it causes you to go to a case, or it causes you to lie down with depression. It's the choice that you make, because we must always remember that in these positions we are called. Yes, you apply and they interview you, they appoint you, But it's not only that, it is also a calling, because the people that we are leading, these are God's people, and God trusts you with their lives. And you have to lead them in the way that when God looks down at you and at them, and he will be happy with you as a leader. And the strength that you have in leading these people, you know. So that was the time where I realized that no, it is not as easy as I thought. People will come to my office and insult me. Yes, because these are his people.
Yes.
So, and you need to understand that they don't see things the way you see them. Some of them, they don't have the experience that you have. They don't have the exposure that you have. They don't have the level of qualifications that you have. So you need to try and balance all these things as you lead them. In most cases, we as leaders, especially as women leaders, we will say, no, you know what, we are fighting alone. For me, there was this awakening that said it has nothing to do with gender.
Okay.
This is about, it has nothing to do with gender. And you have seen, I have seen situations where I was supported or not supported by both genders. You find that women don't support me, even men don't support me. But in that particular moment, there will be men who support me and there will be women who support me. You know? So there, as I'm saying, when I became a manager, that's where my managerial journey began. And I left the regional office. I got appointed as a director in the Department of, at that time we called it Community Safety and Security, as a director for corporate services. The experience that I brought with me assisted me there a lot as well. I was then nominated as a high flyer in the province. I think we were about 6 or 7 managers who were nominated to attend a PSLDP program. It is called the Presidential Strategic Leadership Development Program that develops you it gives you skills of leadership at executive level. That program really was a very, very, very empowering program to, in fact, I would recommend it's not there anymore, but it was a very, very good program because it was practical, and we will go back and implement what we learned. And yes, and we get mentored and coached on how to lead, you know. And then I worked in the Department of Safety and Security. The challenges were there as a leader. And after 3 years, I realized that now I'm mastering all these things. I need something exciting. I got appointed as a chief director in the Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs. That was in 2010. And I worked there as well. At that level, I think you know that at that level now, you are very close to the head of department, and you are also very close to your political principals. So you need, therefore, now to start balancing between the political influence as well as the administrative influence and the people below you, because now we are in a position where you are making decisions. I'm saying we are in a position where you are making decisions because the HOD depends on you as a chief director now to
Yes.
guide him or her on decisions to be made. So in my field, in corporate services, in all my experiences, my managers were not HR people. So people who were reporting, or not even people who were reporting to me, the entire membership of the department will think that the buck stops with me. If Helen says no, then you must know that it won't happen.
Yes.
Nothing will happen because she said no. And even the HODs listen to her. We wonder what she's doing to this man, this woman,
Yes.
And there's all these talks and there's all these negative talks about you. And then there's all these battles that now you need to choose whether you want to fight or you choose to let go, or you understand that it comes with the territory of being a leader. Because once you get inside the sea, you will find sharks, you will find there will be submarines, there will be dolphins, they will play with. So they are in their environment. So when you are when we are in a leadership position, the position itself comes with all these things as a package. Now it's a question of how do you then respond as a leader to these things? Because now the call is on you on how do I then respond. If you see that, I'm not supported, or some people hate me, and we are quick to conclude that now the women don't support each other. There was an aha moment in my life recently where I thought about this thing, and I was like, you know what? As I said earlier, there will be women who support you, and there are those who are not supporting you. Why? What causes that? And I realized that no, this calls for me as a leadership to have insight and understand the situation better, and not see myself as a victim, not see myself as a person who's being hated by these people. I must see myself as a woman of influence, and I can change the situation around. There are people who are looking at you because they envy you.
Yes.
They admire you. And they get close to you, and they even tell you that, you know what, Sister Nomsa, we like you, we like this about you, we like this about you. Some, it's not about liking you. Some will tell you how good you are at your work. But there will be those who will not even want to greet you when they see you coming. If we are using this particular passage, they'll rather use another passage as you come in. The opposite. And to some of these people, you can tell that people are just looking at you and they start to project. They're projecting about their own lives, about their own dreams, dreams which they could not fulfill, things that you have accomplished that they wanted to accomplish, but because of certain circumstances, they could not accomplish those things. When they see you, you are a constant reminder of the point where they fell. And they choose to ignore you, and they choose to look like they hate you, but actually they don't hate you. It's because you are a reminder to them. That there's a particular point where I failed. Or it may not even be a particular point where a person failed. Could be that the situation itself did not allow me to do that which I wanted to do. So they admire you, in fact, but they don't know how to react and how to respond to that admiration. And they tend to move away from you. And as a leader and as a woman, those are the people that you need to try and get close to. Because some of them, they already have these unfounded perceptions about you. Some they look at you and say, oh, Yatikela, oh, because now she's a leader. Some would be saying, oh, she slept her way up, and all this negative talk.
And I can imagine when you're coming into a new environment where also the principal is a male, it's easy then for people to start thinking the person has slept the way, until a person gets to sit with you and hear where you come from. Then that's when they get to appreciate that, oh, but when they don't know from afar, then they will have their ideas. And also, I love what you said when you spoke about those that you are a constant reminder of how they have failed in certain areas. So it's easier for them then to kind of hate you, to distance themselves from you, because you are a constant reminder. But if you find a way of getting an opportunity just for them to get to know you, then they realize that, you know what, I can actually learn from this person and I can still achieve what I wanted to achieve. It's not too late.
Exactly, my friend. You said it so perfectly. And we need to have empathy, empathize with them, try and walk in their shoes and understand why would they behave like that. I like what Mandela said, that as human, we were not born to hate.
Yes.
But hate is learned. So there's no woman who's born to behave in a particular way that is different from how a man would behave. But these things, we are nurtured and we learn these things as we grow up. And there is still a possibility that we can unlearn these things and choose the better way. You know. So for me, those women, I understood that they are looking at you from a position of ignorance and a position of not understanding that there may be points in your life where you may have experienced what they have experienced, but the choices that you made at that point may be what made you what you are today.
Yes.
And as I'm saying, if you get closer to them and try to make them see that, you know what, as much as I'm a leader, but I'm a human being.
I'm a human being,
yes. I do have challenges as well. I do fail in certain aspects of my life. It does not mean that because of my position, therefore everything is honky-dory. In fact, this is a position that I hold. It is not me.
It's not
I
me.
am Helen.
Yes,
it's not me. This position can be taken at any time. You know, it's when we are standing on a red carpet. You are walking on a red carpet. When they remove the red carpet, you are standing on the soil ground, or grass, or whatever it is. It is gone. So it is a position that I occupy, and whatever I do because this position requires me to do what I do. This position requires me to take these decisions. This position requires me to advise this HOD, this CEO. For me to do my work and do my work right, I need to do what my position requires of me. So it has nothing to do with me being a woman or with me being trying to suppress other people, me having jealousy, because sometimes we like to say, yeah, Bafati Banemona, position, they don't want other, you know. We tend to be victims. All of us, all of us. We see ourselves as victims. We are in the.
You know, what you're saying, to say, when we come to that understanding, as firstly, I think what I'm taking from you is that the victim mentality must fall as women. we should not continuously see ourselves, because when you operate from a victim mentality, then everything that you do, your outlook, the lenses through which you view life is those of victim. So even when people are not treating you as a victim, but because you are wearing the victim lens, then you see yourself as a victim. So you need to start looking at things from that perspective, because when you do that, then you are able to be empathetic to others. But when you see yourself as a victim, then you tend to want to defend, because a victim feels like I must fight because everyone is attacking me, so I need to fight. So we need to remove those classes. But I also think that with that being said, we cannot also take away the fact, we cannot ignore the fact that there are still battles that we are facing that I think men don't get to face. I from me, and you'll correct me, but I feel we've got to work a little bit hard. We've got to make ourselves known a little bit more than the male counterparts are expected to. It is a natural thing, the way I see it. But even in that, don't look at it as a victim. Look at it as it is an opportunity for me to showcase the skills that I have without changing who I am.
Yes, you are correct, my friend. As women, we are expected to do more than our male counterparts to prove ourselves, especially in the boardroom, to prove ourselves. And it should not be because of us. It should be because of our societal orientation.
Yes.
For me, when these things are happening around me, I just see patriarchy and the damage that patriarchy has destroyed society.
Yes.
Because it is patriarchy that says you have been sidelined as a woman, and now you are in the boardroom to prove your point, and already you are there, you feel like you are subordinate to this man, that you are occupying positions that are similar. You are all in the same level, you are all in equal position. But because patriarchy has also contributed in making you feel like you have to be subordinate to some male, to some male figure. Even in the boardroom, the male will be talking and coming up with great ideas and making contribution, and the women are there quiet. They are not making any contribution, and what do we do? Because then when we are there with them, we don't have a voice, we want to be quiet. We tend to work very hard because we want to prove that even if I'm quiet in the boardroom, but I can prove a point that my work can speak for itself. I can do better, but people tend not to see your intellect.
Yes.
Because it is when you start debating, it is when you start raising issues in the boardroom, when they respect this, when they begin to realize that, well, this woman knows her story.
Yes.
And if you are quiet, then you are going to demonstrate that you know your story when we are doing your work, whether in HR or in IT, or you achieve all your targets. Then you're saying, my work speaks for itself. Then you're saying, I'm working extra hard because I want to prove a point, So we need to up our game. And as women, we need to also realize patriarchy when it is before us, that you know what, this is patriarchy. And also understand that patriarchy has also damaged us and made us feel that I deserve to be taken care of by a man. I deserve to be treated by a man in this particular way. I deserve to be taken to a restaurant. A man deserves to pay for the bill. A man is, you know what, all these things that we think that men should do and we can't do. It is because of patriarchy. And unfortunately, we learned these things and we did not choose because these are things that are out there in the society. Now, at least as women, we found them like that and we embraced it. So we need to be awakened to these things and realize that, you know what, these are the things that may be destructive in my career. and I need to try and make better choices about my life. You read a lot. If they say there's a meeting tomorrow, prepare for the meeting. Go through, if you're going to discuss a policy, read that draft that they have sent, so that when you go to the boardroom, you contribute into the policy.
Yes.
You know, you come up with great ideas. If there's a meeting, go through the agenda, look at all the items that will be discussed. If there's an item that you know that you don't have clear information, try and get information and prepare yourself. Then you go to that boardroom. I'm telling you, there's no man who will make you feel like you have to kneel before him. People will respect you.
Because you have a voice. Sorry. And the voice makes a difference. It's not just a voice.
Just the voice. Just have that voice. You go there, you raise your issues. Sometimes I go into a meeting, a planning meeting, and people will be presenting their plans. I will take all the plans that are submitted by each division. We call them division in my organization. We call them branches if they are at the DG level. So I will take all the plans. If it's an APP or it's an operational plan, I will read. Check if indicators are properly drafted. Check if targets are proper. When I go to that meeting, I am fired.
You ready?
There's no presentation that I'm not going to comment on. I will comment on it in every presentation. And then when you out and people will think, oh, were you a planner before, Miss Shu? I said, no, I wasn't.
Yeah. And that, I think that is how, if we are to bring it back to the women of 1956 and the women to say, that is how we will then fight the whatever challenges that we are facing today, by being relevant. Not sitting and crying victim as women, but make yourself relevant by making sure that you understand these issues. You empower yourself.
Yeah, you must empower yourself. Make sure that you are knowledgeable, especially if I'm a DTG corporate services. There isn't anything in corporate services that I shouldn't know.
Yes.
I must know corporate. When you wake me up at night, you ask me anything about my work, I must tell you. And at the level of DTG, I must not only know about corporate services, I must understand the entire organization, even the core business of the organization.
Yes.
I must understand what is the core business of this organization, so that I am also a candidate for the DG position.
Yes.
Because for me to be a candidate for the DG position, I must understand the entire organization. Its mandate. Yes, its mandate and where it is going. So, yeah, we were talking about my journey, just to go back to say, here now I find myself being a chief director at COGTA, and all these things that I'm talking about are happening. All these experiences, bad experiences, good experiences, I am learning like a sponge. Everything that comes my way, I learn. But I keep my head high, my shoulders up, always on point, focusing on my work and ensuring that I do my work the right way, whether people like it or they don't like it, whether they support it, they don't support it. But you will see that there are people who like what we are doing. We're talking about women who may not be like favoring you, but you will see those who may seem not to be favoring you. One day they come to work dressed like you, and you're like, hey, that one looks like me most today. And you begin to wonder, so why is this person dressed like me? And the next day, another one is also dressed like you. And these people are at a distance and they distance themselves from you. But now they begin to dress like you.
Yeah.
And there are those, that was my experience there in that organization. And there will be those who will come and talk to me and want to know. And when I was studying, I would tell them that, I'm doing my master's degree. This is what I'm learning. They'll say, ma'am, we're going to do it. And 2 years down the line, they enroll for the same qualification that I've done. Some were men. I know one man enrolled for the same qualification, and I know one female also who enrolled for the same qualification. So that's why I'm saying we need to begin to realize that we are holding positions of influence. It's a
Yes.
question of choices that people make around us, how to respond to the influence that we bring to them. But for us, really, we need to exude positivity and make people see that it is possible, whatever it is that we have accomplished, for them to accomplish. Was then appointed as a DDG in the Department of Justice. Our entity is the Information Regulation. There, my friend.
I like that. I like that. Okay.
You know, yeah.
Yeah.
But what I like about our God is that if we listen to him and we don't see any challenge as insurmountable, he prepares us
Yes.
for what lies ahead.
Ahead.
Because God has a way of preparing us for our tomorrow because he knows our tomorrow.
Yes.
There I had to start an organization from scratch, from nothing, and build an organization from zero. And where there were no people, and make sure that there are people, there's structure, there's everything in the
Yes.
organization. There's a STEM. The organization has a post box
Mm.
number.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, yes, I get you.
And yeah, I grew there.
Yes.
And I look at the impact that this organization had in myself, and I'm saying, God, it can only be you. There were challenges, as I'm saying, that these positions, they come with challenges. There were challenges as people were coming in and joining the organization. Then they will start, because when we are in that level of power, people will be touched by any decision that you
make.
take.
Yes.
Yes. In certain instances, you don't even have to take a decision, but you may be seen as having taken that decision because of the position that you hold.
Yeah.
So, but I'm grateful for what God has done in my life. I have grown a lot, and I have become or begin to understand that I'm not a victim.
Yeah.
And women supports me. And women are my sisters.
Yes.
And as women, we are a very powerful force that we can work together and achieve. And I've also begun to realize that there are broken women who need us, and their brokenness may have let them see themselves from the sidelines and start to look like they are haters, or they are not our supporters, or they are this and that and that. And we forget to think about their own experiences, or to walk in their shoes and begin to understand what they have experienced, to make them see us the way they see us, so that we bring them closer. We make them see that, no, you don't have to do this, my sister. This is possible. You can also do it for yourself. So really, my journey has been a pleasant one, but also it came with all the challenges that comes with leadership. But then if you want to change the world, you need to be prepared to go through all these challenges and to go through all these happy moments, because your objective is to make a difference in the world. If Moses experienced this as he led the Israelites, how about you?
What's so different about you?
Yes, what is so
Yeah.
different about he experienced it? God was there. I mean, he's the man who was favored by God. He could see the face of God. But he experienced all these challenges. So if he did, so how about me? Honestly, we must just understand that these things come with the territory, it comes
Yes.
with the position, and
Yes.
embrace them and
Yes.
embrace it. You will see, you will live a peaceful life and you will embrace all genders that you are working with. And you won't see people as haters, you won't see people as not supporting you, because your mentality has changed towards how you see them and the environment around you.
So I think mainly it's all in the mind. It's change you, because at the end of the day you may not be able to change the next person, but how you then engage with them and relate with them, it's what may change them. It may not change them also, but where now you need to know that from where I am clean, I am okay, I have no victim mentality issues, I have nothing that makes me feel like you. I am all that. But I'm actually, as I'm listening to you, I'm laughing because when you said one of the things was that you said, I don't want to report, I want to be a manager and I want to have people that are reporting to me and I want this and that. But the reality of it also is that even as you have people reporting to you, there'll always be somebody that you report to. Because even if you get to the level of a CEO or a DG level, there will always be your political principles that you need to report to. And that is the nature of life. But you also got to realize that when you have people reporting to you, it's not as easy as it looks. It comes with its own challenges, as you have shared. So I want to thank you. I want to thank you, girlfriend, for agreeing to come and share. Because sometimes people look at you and think, this person just rose and all was hanky dory, all was easy. When in reality is that there has been challenges, but you need to, any challenge that you come across as an individual, you need to be able to say, who am I? How do I respond to these issues? Ungathwali, don't carry people's burdens on you, because they will weigh you down. But have a clear mind, have a clear identity of yourself, and then you'll be okay. You will not see yourself as a victim. Parting shots, your last words that you want a younger Helen to take. Somebody who's just starting out and who has dreams and who has this. What are your last words to that person?
My parting shots will be that, young Helen, you may have fallen at a particular stage in your life, and you may have thought that it is over with your life. What I want to tell you today is that it is possible, it is not over, it is doable. There's no mountain big enough that you cannot climb. Just get the necessary support, get the necessary people around you who can encourage you. Focus on that which you want to achieve. You can make it. It does not come up because there's something that you have done which is out of the ordinary. It is just possible for anyone who keeps their eyes on the ball.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, girlfriend. Viewers at home, you've heard it. As we celebrate Women's Month, we want to say to you, stop looking yourself as a victim. The women of 1956 did it because they were united. Therefore, let us be united in mind, where we take away the victim mentality, but we see ourselves as people who can be game changers. And then we empower ourselves. We make sure that we are relevant. We make sure that our voice is heard, not through unnecessary fights, but through being relevant to the situation where you find yourself. So yes, boardroom is tough, but it's also very easy to make it if you take your position and say, what mark do I want to leave? Challenges are going to be there. You're not going to avoid them. You're not going to run away from them. But you also have a way of dealing with them in a way that you do not lose who you are. Thank you for joining in. Until next time, remember to subscribe to the channel. Remember to tell others to subscribe to the channel. If you have not yet subscribed, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and you hit the notification button so that when we post conversations, every 2 weeks we post conversations, Sundays, 6 o'clock, make sure that you catch the conversation. Thank you for joining in, and we say to the women of South Africa, Happy Women's Month. Thank you.
Preview.